Morning and evening maids heard the goblins cry, "Come buy our orchard fruits, come buy, come buy. Apples and quinces, lemons and oranges, plump unpecked cherries, melons and raspberries, bloom-down-cheeked peaches, sword-headed mulberries, wild free-born cranberries, crab-apples, dewberries, pineapples, blackberries, apricots, strawberries, all ripe together, in summer weather, morns that pass by, fair eves that fly, come buy, come buy." That was a poem called Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti. Hi everyone, I'm Eric Lundquist, your friendly neighborhood tree guy. Welcome to another Tree Talk Tuesday. Today I want to talk to you guys about fruit. Fruit is a ubiquitous part of our lives. We eat some form of fruit almost every day. It's in our groceries, on our tables, in our takeout, even in our iconographies and our stories. For us, fruit is an important part of our culture and our experience. For a tree, fruit is a bribe to the animal kingdom to spread its progeny far and wide. By definition, a fruit is the fleshy casing around the seeds of a type of plant called an angiosperm. Any plant that uses flowers of some kind to reproduce is an angiosperm. This is opposed to being a gymnosperm, but we'll talk about that distinction another week. By this definition, we're surrounded with thousands of different types of fruit throughout the year. From the little baubles on the tips of the lily of the valley in the spring, or the bright red clusters of sumac trees in the fall, from the tasty plump cherries of our commercial orchards to the tiny black clusters that grow on their woodland relatives, fruit is all around us. Even the dry casing around pecans and walnuts are fruits of an angiosperm, though the part we eat is the seed. Though we're going to leave pecans, walnuts, and acorns for another week, because today we're going to talk about how fruit became a winning strategy for plants long before we ever tamed them. And to do that effectively, we're going to define fruit a little bit more strictly to things that you might think of when you hear the word. The most iconic fruit we might think of is an apple. Picture it in your head. Shiny red skin, white sugary flesh, and then some seeds in the middle. Apple trees don't make all this delicious fleshy fruit around their seeds just for the fun of it. In fact, fruiting bodies are a fairly large investment for a plant. The sugars and nutrients inside of a fruit flow into it from the plant that is growing it. And in a harsh and sometimes unforgiving world, a plant can't simply afford to give away all of its hard-fought carbohydrates and sugars for nothing. As we discussed in a previous week, plants evolve strategies to see their seeds travel beyond the limitations of gravity and momentum. For many fruiting plants, the tasty flesh is an incentive for birds and terrestrial animals to take its seeds elsewhere. There are different strategies within this strategy. Some plants fill their seeds with bitter toxins but surround them in edible sugary goodness, enticing animals to spit the seeds out as they make a meal of the fruit, or chew the fruit in a way that exposes the seeds without eating them. Some fruits make their seeds easy to swallow and coat them in hard cases that can withstand the process of digestion. When the animal passes its waste, the seeds are deposited far away from their point of origin in a convenient package of useful fertilizers. Some plants with fruiting bodies are so dedicated to this strategy that they even rely on digestive enzymes to tell the seeds it is time to germinate. If you've ever stepped outside in the late fall or early winter to see orange pellets littering cars and sidewalks, this is the strategy of the invasive bittersweet vine at work, assisted by hungry crows. The crows will gorge themselves on the plentiful reddish-orange fruits that occupy overgrown hedges and derelict woodlots, and then regurgitate the seeds and husks the following morning. The process isn't much different than the much more well-known and discussed habit of owls, who will regurgitate fur and bones after swallowing a catch. Isn't nature so beautiful sometimes? Anyways, the point of our little segue about bird vomit is that regurgitation of indigestible material is a common digestion strategy for birds, and one that plants are all too happy to take advantage of. So much so that they advertise their precious seeds with tasty nutrients and attention-grabbing colors, begging them to be eaten. This relationship between the birds and the fruiting vines is one of passive mutualism or passive symbiosis, though I'm not sure the bird knows that. So if I can leave you fine folks with one thought, it's this. Next time you see a shiny piece of fruit and think of it as a beautiful gift from nature, don't be so sure. It very well may be a bribe. I hope all of you have enjoyed this tree talk today. Be good to the planet and to each other, and we'll see you next time.